Hey everybody, Phi Farley here. It is January 7th. It is Monday. We got a short slate of NCAA basketball games to get to. I'm going to go through these from a high view and give you my best bet of the day, as well as an alternative. I'll give you a second best bet that I'll just highlight real quick in 1 second. First, though, let me say thank you to subscribers. I appreciate it. Thank you for getting me through this weekend. This was a rough weekend for me, both personally, as my best bets are also plays that I make personally. So, when I lost that game on Saturday for my NCAA basketball best bet, I thought that was one with 2 minutes left. They scored 20 points in the Texas Tech Kansas State game. I was blown away. I can't believe they got to 120, which I had 119, ended up what I grabbed it at. So really frustrating. I also had Eastern Washington and North Dakota State under 61 was the total. It landed at 62 because with 1 minute left, quarterback up the middle ran for about 40 yards for a touchdown. Just two really bad losses that I was really frustrated by. I had some other wins. If you were following, Iowa won, Colts won, lost on the Bears. But, some of those were really frustrating. My Eagles lost. My Seahawks lost. So for those of you who have subscribed and followed along and made comments, I appreciate it. I really do. It means a lot to me to get those positive support, even though you get a rough weekend. So much love to those people who did make a comment. If you haven't done so in the past, feel free to throw a comment down every now and then. It's fun to get to know the people who are on the other side of this YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We got NCAA basketball best bet, NBA best bet, as well as what's left of the NFL playoffs. So follow along with the content. It's been a lot of fun and coming off a win here in NCAA basketball. All right, now let's get into today because we are featuring the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Who doesn't love some Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference and some Southwest Athletic Conference? Oh boy. As I look through this, there's a couple games. One I'm going to highlight real quick. Howard, Maryland Eastern Shore. Howard has a lot of injuries to be aware of. When I was capping this one, just be aware, the line is about 4 points off of what KP would have it at in favor of Howard. So Howard would be the attractive side. However, if there's a key injury in there, if you could find out whether they're playing or not playing before tip-off, you may have an edge in that 3.5, whether you're taking it or laying it. Now, the one that I was going to play as my best bet, but I just don't like it quite as much, but I will be playing this myself, is going to be Texas Southern at Southern. So Texas Southern is a team that's beat Baylor. They beat Oregon. They beat Oregon when they had Bull on their team. They have some great athletes, and they're up-tempo. They beat Texas A&M. They play up-tempo. But that said, right now, they're 6-8. So they've gone 3-8 against other opponents outside of those top competitors. Now they're going into a team, Southern here, far inferior. There's no reason they shouldn't be winning this by 7.5. I like the 7.5. I'm taking the Texas Southern side. However, I do like, as a best bet, one game better, and let's talk about it. It's in the Southwest Athletic Conference. Alcorn State hosting Prairie View A&M. So what's interesting about this is you look at the record, Prairie View A&M 3-11 versus Alcorn State 4-9. However, against Division I opponents, Alcorn State is 0-9. They have not won a single game against a Division I opponent. Not to mention they haven't even been in a game against a Division I opponent. The closest one was Savannah State at home. They lost by 5, which you may say that's great, that's close. Savannah State is number 344th on KP, so very, very close to the bottom. Let's not forget that Alcorn State is 351st, so I guess losing rightably so. They just played Texas Southern, lost by 17 at home. That's their next closest game. Outside of that, it's losses by 20 plus, 30 plus, and 40 plus across the rest of their schedule. Prairie View A&M, on the other hand, just beat Southern, who according to KP would be 5 points better. They beat them by 9 at Southern. They have beat Santa Clara to open up the season. The rest are losses, but as we look at those games have been a lot closer than what, they've actually had a decent schedule. Playing at Greensboro, they lost by 8. Playing at Lamar, they lost by 7. Respectable losses. At Baylor, they lose by 11. So these have been respectable losses across the board. Now they're going to get into conference play where we got teams that are on their playing level. And Alcorn State is just abysmal. I think they're far superior to them. To ask them to win this game by 11, I think is easily within reach. I think this is or by 10. This is a 10 to 15 point win for Prairie View A&M all day long. KP has, let me look at this real quick, has Prairie View A&M, this is kind of interesting, as 9.5 points below the average team, while Alcorn State is 23.9 points below the average team, making them about 14.5 points better, which would put this line at about -10. We're getting it at -6. I think we're getting I even think Alcorn State may even be overrated for where they're at. So give it the 6. I'll lay the 6 with Prairie View A&M. Panthers on the road. You won't see that too often. But in this situation, on this slate of games, I think this is today's best bet. So Prairie View A&M -6. Good luck, everyone, today. We'll see you again soon.